So Renfield is finally here. We've been seeing trailers to this for quite a while.
Yes.
I think I've seen the trailer to this, 765 times at this point.
A lot.
This definitely got a big marketing push. So in case you've been living under a rock and haven't seen this trailer, this is about Renfield, who is Dracula's familiar. And Renfield, attends a Codependencies Anonymous to try to break away from his toxic relationship with Dracula. And hilarity and gore and whatnot ensues.
It was so fun.
So, yeah, this is a film that I didn't have like a ton of hope for. I just thought from the trailer, I was like, yeah, they probably just put the fun things in the trailer and, it'll just be like a fun, forgettable movie. Boy, was I wrong. People were saying this was gory, and typically when people say that, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. It's just going to be like some blood. It's going to spray on the screen or something. And people are like, oh my god, it's gory. This is fucking graphic. This is gory as hell. Like, when I say it, trust it. It's graphic.
It's really graphic.
Heads being crushed and torn off, limbs being ripped off, faces being torn off, bodies exploding, people being cut in half, ripped apart. It's fucking insane. And it is bloody. This is like Evil Dead level of blood coming out of people. Insanity. That right there alone. Anytime you put that kind of stuff in a movie, you're going to get a pretty glowing recommendation from me from that alone.
Yeah.
Right? And this film has that in gallons. So A++ on the gore. That shocked me.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't expecting it to be like that violent, and I was really happy when it was.
Sure. So anyway, the film has... I think what the film is successful at more than anything is that the film has everything. This is a fantastic example of a horror comedy. Like, it does its horror super well. It does its comedy super well.
Yeah.
But it also has like awesome action sequences.
Yes.
Really cool, like, heartfelt moments that really actually work. It's got comedy that works. It's got drama that works. It's got, the horror that works. It's really kind of running on all cylinders, and those cylinders run on blood.
Yeah. Lots and lots of blood.
Yeah. And gore. Real, actual gore, not just blood.
Right. I feel like for me the comedy worked super well. I'm like somebody who doesn't laugh out loud very often in movies.
No.
And I laughed out loud a bunch during this.
Yeah.
It's just there's some really great moments, and I think everybody's acting was really wonderful. And it was so much fun. Like that's like my biggest takeaway is that it was a really fun time. But I think you're absolutely right about like the horror and comedy both being done kind of perfectly in tune with each other. So
so this is directed by Chris McKay, who did the Lego Batman movie. He most recently did The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt, which I still haven't seen, but after having watched this, I'm definitely more inclined to check it out. This stars Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, Nicolas Cage, the two Nicks back to back, who, of course, everybody wants to be very Nick Cagey. And I had heard that Nick Cage had a few characters that he had always longed to play in his career, and one of those being Dracula. And I've been very back and forth with Nicolas Cage lately with movies that people are like excited for, like Prisoners in a Ghostland, Mandy, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, stuff like that. And some of them I love, like Unbearable Weight, and some of them I'm super blah on. So I didn't know what to expect from him here, and I think that he's an excellent Dracula for this film.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
could he bring this brand of Dracula to like a serious horror film? No.
No.
But he's playing it perfectly to the tone of the film.
Yeah.
And everyone does. Now, someone like Awkwafina, who has a very specific brand of humor, who's kind of crude and crass and very bombastic and loud. Some people can find that annoying. And if you found that character be annoying in other films that she's in, like Shang-Chi, then you probably will find her annoying here, because this is still Awkwafina that we know. Some people love her, some people hate her. Setting aside like some controversy or whatever, I'm just saying the actress on the screen, I thought she was great in this. Her chemistry with Nicholas Hoult in this is great.
Yes.
I think they play off of each other really well. I think Nicholas Hoult is really great as the lead character, as the titular character here. So really fantastic work all around. I was pretty surprised at like some of the messaging in this movie and how it actually worked, because of like this play on like codependency and toxic relationships. I thought that was really, really smart.
Yeah.
This is written by Robert Kirkman, who created The Walking Dead and Invincible. So it doesn't shock me that there's like this playful side to it because of like Invincible. Invincible has some wonderful like social commentary, but also like some like funny heart. And this has that kind of going on in it as well. So yeah, I mean, this is a major contender currently. I will say this. This is definitely the most fun film I've watched in 2023.
Yeah.
And might be my favorite film I've seen this year, which is
That's huge.
crazy to
That's
me.
so crazy. That was like, this is not what I was expecting, like going into this movie, was
No.
you to say that. So
No.
that's really amazing.
It surprised me, is
Yeah.
what it came down to. I was just, and you know, expectations do play a role, right? When you have high expectations of something, and even though the film is good, it doesn't meet your expectations, it brings that down. And with something like this, where my expectations were kind of like middle of the road, I was very pleasantly surprised, which then elevated it even more. So, you know, maybe on a second watch alongside of something like Infinity Pool or something that, you know, was maybe my other main contender for horror, even films this year, maybe I would shift them a little bit. And I'm not 100% sure where they stand, but I just had such a great time watching this. There's so many funny, memorable scenes.
Yes.
And there's a good self-awareness, and also they did some stuff, because I also didn't mention there's some really gnarly, rad makeup effects on Dracula when he's not in full form yet. He gets injured somewhere along the way of the film and remains injured for a period of the film. And his depiction whilst he's in recovery is really gnarly. Like, I was like, oh wow, this is really cool special effects makeup. And a cool depiction of Dracula. And also, in addition to that, I was 1,000% not expecting them to pay such a cool homage to older Dracula movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like one of my favorite parts. Actually, is the opening sequence, which without giving any spoilers, it's just really cool.
Yes.
And you guys should 1,000% be watching this movie. I'm sure many of you already are going to or have seen it, because it's definitely one of the big like horror movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
And it definitely like impressed us.
And I also really enjoy the depiction of Dracula's transformation.
Yeah.
In the past, I've always kind of criticized this idea of Dracula turning into like a little bat and flying off and this and that. But the way it's done in this, that actually sold me on the idea, because I really liked how it was done and it felt authentic to the character. I honestly, I have no complaints. I am genuinely shocked on the level of like action violence that's going on. And I think they're able to get away with it because it's like over the top silly violence, right? Like if they try to do this level of gore in a serious
in like
movie,
a John Wick movie,
they would not allow it to have an R rating, but because it's like playful and the blood and the gore is so bombastic, so insane, like people don't have that much blood in there.
No,
like,
but I
people
love
don't
when
explode
they do on
like
screen.
that. It's awesome.
Great.
It's
really
awesome.
great.
So that's I mean, I am a sucker for intense, over the top violence.
Yeah.
And when you can satiate that thirst in me, I'm immediately like, I'm already high. And when you land the comedy, all that other stuff too, and I really like the characters, and I really like this concept of Renfield being somebody who feels like he's been abused by Dracula and all that stuff. I was like, whoa. And then you throw in Ben Schwartz as this like the boss's kid.
Oh my god,
who's like
so
the shitbag like that everyone hates, and he just is so full of himself. Almost reminds me a bit of the guy in Hobo with a Shotgun.
Oh,
whose
sure.
dad like runs the town, so he just goes around and throws his shit around even though he's nothing. He's actually the voice of Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Cool.
But you want to see a completely opposite version of Sonic the Hedgehog in his performance. He's funny. Yeah, I mean, I really have nothing but praise for this one. I have nothing negative to say.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
I don't either. I just think it was a wonderful and very fun film. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One I would definitely buy. Watch again a few times. I would put this in my favorite vampire movies ever made.
That's
for
massive.
Sure.
That's
for
so
sure.
massive.
Top 10 easy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But remember,
I don't know where I'd put it, but
vampires
it's high for sure.
is my least favorite subgenre.
I know, that's why I was
That being said,
for me it might be a little harder, but
vampires
it's
are
still awesome.
something I don't love. But when you have this kind of gore and when you have this kind of heart and humor,
yeah,
how could I not be super in love with this film?
Sure.
So, yeah, there you go. The glowing recommendation. Hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. I know I saw one of my friends, Wyatt. He gave it a 10 out of 10. So there's that side of it. And then Brett from Good Real Hunting was like, it was a 50-50 movie for me, whatever the fuck that means. So there, every film's going to have its divisiveness.
Sure.
I think this will be a real crowd pleaser for fans of Nicolas Cage that saw the trailer and are like, I just want that, but like more.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's exactly what this is. If you saw the trailer and you love gore and you were into the trailer, this fucking film is so for you.
Yeah.
So, real fun time. Go see it. Let us know. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.